Ready?
Yeah, I'm recording. So once
Okay.
you start recording there and you get sat down.
Yeah, I did it.
Okay. You ready?
Okay.
To sync up, we gotta.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello?
Testing. Alright, okay.
Okay, so I guess we can go ahead and get into this here. We want to make a quick video. First of all, yes, we are understanding of the fact that Tech Reviewers HD has been a channel that has been around for quite a long time now.
Yep. Hasn't posted much, but we're going to start posting more.
We've not posted pretty much anything. That's personal issues there and whatever. School mostly, because we focused on school. But today we decided to skip classes, so boo-hoo on us, to watch the unveiling of the iPhone 7. That was one of the main events that Apple wanted to have today, but they waited so long into the event to get into that.
Oh gosh, yeah, they were talking about all these, what were they talking about, games or something? Going through some apps.
Yeah, they started with games, didn't they?
Progress with schools. Now the first conversation we had is, the school impact on iPads, and we were talking about Chromebooks, remember that?
Chromebooks.
Yeah, and Chromebooks and how much cheaper they are than iPads.
Yeah, and how it's pretty much impossible to install anything other than Linux on them without losing your usability.
Now they are cheap, but there's a big problem. Yeah, the operating system isn't that robust. And it's good for most people, but for some even moderate tasks, it's not enough. But today's event wasn't about that at all. Today was about the iPhone, the Apple Watch, and AirPods.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There's $156 AirPods that are really cool, but are they quite worth almost $200?
Yeah, that was the one thing that I hated the most about it, was the fact that you have to pay almost $200 for a pair of wireless headphones.
And they come with regular ones, but they're wired. They're just your regular old earpods. That's hard to get used to.
Yeah.
Earpods, and they go in on your headphone jack.
Well, what used to be the headphone jack now?
Or not your headphone jack,
Now Apple has actually talked about their new technology and the reasoning behind taking off the headphone jack. We're assuming that they took the headphone jack off for kind of waterproofing and everything. Because if you, like me, you've looked at the 3.5mm jacks internally, and a lot of them, they're not very waterproof. They have to have pins coming directly off the motherboard, or I guess it's called logic board in this, directly touching the headphones. So they lose a lot of waterproofing in that case. But I think it's neat. They're including in the box a adapter for the Lightning to 3.5mm, so that's a good thing.
It's the first adapter they've ever actually included with a device, which is good, because I had a feeling they were going to charge $30 for it.
Yeah.
But they included it, and they included some headphones, not to be confused with the AirPods, which are a separate accessory for $156.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the website here. It says they're going to be available in late October. That's
That's kind of a long wait, considering the phone's going to be out in a few weeks.
It's worth the wait for those. My main complaint with the AirPods is battery life.
5 hours, which isn't that great.
Yeah.
Now, I've been researching them, and most of them get around 12 hours. I just got some for $17. They look almost like the EarPods, and they got about 3 to 4 hours, which, in the grand scheme of things, is pretty terrible. And 5 hours isn't much better, but you get this cool little carrying case, and combined, I think you get around 24 hours, they said.
Yeah, if I remember to, I'll pop up a picture of the case on the screen in this part of the video in editing. But my other complaint is it uses a proprietary system that only works with Apple devices to connect to them. So it's not like this is a Bluetooth headphone that you can just use on any device that you want. You're locked into Apple's proprietary system there.
And they didn't say that it was Bluetooth specifically, but we know that it's a Bluetooth technology, and I think it's going to be used a lot like NFC is. Now, NFC currently is on most iPhones, all the new modern iPhones. I think it's 6 and plus, the 6 ones and up that have the NFC chips. But you can only use them for Apple Pay. and it's really locked down, and other than jailbreaking, that's the only way you can use it, and I think it's going to be the same story for this. Now, I'm not sure if it'll work on any other Apple devices. We're pretty sure that it will work on most of them, because it showed other devices working with it. But as far as Android devices and anything else, I don't know if it would work. And that's a lot of money to spend on headphones that may or may not work with your device.
Yeah, and that actually kind of makes sense, you bringing up the NFC, because it recognizes it as soon as you get it close to the device. You don't have to press any buttons in the software or anything. As soon as you get it close to your iPhone, it recognizes, hey, there's an AirPod case right next to me. I need to offer the availability to connect to this AirPod device. I'm not sure how they're going to handle connecting it to MacBooks and everything, but apparently that's going to be a thing.
I'm sure that'll come in an update.
So we'll see that once it comes around in October.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. The one big challenge with Bluetooth headphones is getting them connected, getting them paired, making sure you keep them charged, which is a big issue. Which I think these will be a lot like the weird, the Apple Pencil, how it sticks on the side of the iPad Pro. It probably will charge fairly quick. I have a feeling it will, to make it more convenient.
They add the availability to use Siri from the touch of the EarPod. I'm not sure how they're going to accomplish that or how they accomplish that, but I think it's really cool that, you have the AirPod on. I was wanting to say EarPod. It's still going to be hard to get into saying that, but you just tap it and you're automatically talking to Siri, and the microphones at the bottom of them are pretty cool. Like, they recognize who's talking to it, and they can help with noise cancellation. So I guess they're introducing some technology that makes it worth it.
Speaker beam technology, which I'm not that familiar with. It's supposed to direct it more into your ear. Not noise cancellation, I'm sure. I just pulled up the stats here on the battery. So 15 minutes of charging equals 3 hours of battery life, which is pretty rapid charging.
Yeah.
Because normally it take a couple hours, I'm sure.
So you're listening to it, and then somebody starts to have a conversation with you, and you're maybe an hour or so left on your battery life, and you just take them out, stick them in the case, stick the case in your pocket, finish up your conversation, and, there you go. You have your AirPods charged again.
Yeah. And
I'm gonna keep
the cool thing is that you can have one in, you take it out. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you take it out,
it can recognize if you have it in your ear or not. So, I mean, there's a lot of great technology in it, but that doesn't constitute the price point for it. I would be more comfortable if they left it at $100.
Yeah.
But $150 is a little much. I was expecting it to be around $50, but again, this is Apple. They like to overcharge for everything.
And there was no statement over whether they were waterproof or water resistant, I don't think.
Yeah, and
or sweat-proof, at least.
I'm foreseeing that going to be an issue because of, just what they are. People are going to be wanting to wear these while they're working out so that cord isn't flapping everywhere and getting in their way. And if sweat gets into them and starts messing them up, Apple's going to have a big problem on their hands.
Yeah, the current ones, I believe they use like a cardboard paper sort of cup inside. And if they get wet at all, they're done for. You'll see a lot of reviews of runners reviewing these and saying that they get in their ears. The regular earpods, not the AirPods. Now, they haven't said anything, I don't think, about that, but it's clearly marketed at active people. And I think it would be, but they haven't actually advertised it.
Okay, now let's get into the iPhone here. You said, when did you say the pre-orders were going to be available?
September 9th.
September 9th for the pre-orders.
And available the following week on the 16th.
Yes, the 16th is whenever you can actually have one in your hands. Unless you're at the event today, or yesterday, whenever I get around to uploading this. Unless you were at the event, the keynote, you're going to have to wait until the 16th to actually have your hands on one of these devices. I'm pretty excited about the new colors. They have...
Yeah, the colors look awesome.
They have black, which is kind of like the anodized steel, or, not anodized.
Aluminum?
Aluminum.
Yeah, aluminum.
And then they have jet black, which is the polished aluminum, which I'm not sure about the polished aluminum.
It looks like a mirrored
amazing.
piano black.
It looks amazing. But I'm foreseeing people putting them in and out of their pockets.
That's going to be slippery.
Slippery, yes. But on top of that, the amount of polishing that they had to do on these to get them to look like that, I have a feeling that's gonna go away after the first few times you stick it in your pocket.
It's not like the all aluminum, like, it's like a mirrored finish that the old iPods have, if you're familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they look beautiful, but when they get scratched, they look horrible.
Yeah.
And I guess the durability is something I would be concerned about, but it's beautiful. It'll be a fingerprint magnet, and it just looks amazing. Now, one of the last things that Apple mentioned about this, they didn't actually really say it, or fully acknowledge it, but the headphone jack, or the lack of it.
Yeah, and we kind of got into that conversation earlier whenever we were talking about the AirPods, but the headphone jack is completely gone off of this model.
Yeah, the headphone jack's
and like we said,
gone.
we assume it's for waterproofing.
Yeah, they were
That's
talking
not
about the
100%.
Apple Watch and how the speaker was redesigned in it to shoot out the water and how they sealed it up. We're going to get on that later.
Yeah.
But it's water resistant, not waterproof. So you should be good for some light splashes. I don't know about the washing machine, especially if you put it in the dryer as well. Probably wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Better chance than nothing, though.
But it's good for, like, if you're washing dishes or something, you got it sitting on the counter and you forget, oh, my iPhone's sitting there, and I just took
Knock
a
it in
cup
the
out
toilet.
and splashed my iPhone with water. The iPhone 7 is going to be water resistant from that. Somebody driving past.
Looks like they need a new alternator.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. I lost my train of thought. Here we go.
iPhone, waterproofing.
Ah, yes, waterproofing. This is a fun video so far.
Yeah. Okay, we're just going to keep it casual, though, because, everybody else can make a video just like this. Okay, so we talked about, let's see, LTE. We're not going to touch on that, really, are we?
Okay, one of the main things I want to talk about the iPhone 7 here is the rear-facing camera. They introduced a lot.
Yeah, the rear-facing camera is a killer feature.
How many materials did they say were in the lens alone?
I think 6 elements now. I believe it's up from 1 from last year.
Yeah.
It's fixed. There's 2 lenses on it. Which, okay, so...
Oh, no, that's the Plus model.
That's the Plus model.
Let's talk about just the 7.
Let's talk about the first one, yeah. The
7.
dual cameras are only available on the Plus model. So let's start on the original, or the regular model.
And they really hide it in here.
See if I can find it.
I think the regular one is just a 12 megapixel camera. And these iPhones are identical, minus the size of the display and the cameras.
Yeah.
Those are the only differences.
Yeah, there's 3 cameras now on the iPhone, on the Plus model.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, that's crazy. So it features the f1.8 aperture, which means you can get the bokeh effect. And if the bokeh effect's very widely used in portrait photography. And that's whenever you have the subjects perfectly clear, everything else is blurred out. Now the way to achieve this is a wide aperture, which is a lower number. It's f1.8, which means that you'll be able to let more light in. So like if you're taking like astrophotography like what I do, it makes a low light performance night and day difference. That's the one big thing that the iPhone lacked over the Samsung devices was the aperture. Now since we have this wide aperture, we get more light, we get that bokeh effect, and we'll get on to the other advantage of that with the other camera. But of course, it now comes with optical image stabilization on the regular 6, or the 7 model, I should say.
Yeah, and that was something I really missed on the iPhone 6 and 6S.
Yeah.
It was exclusive to the Plus models, and I'm actually really happy to see it coming to the smaller iPhone, because I like to take photos, but I don't have all this big fancy photography equipment that I like to carry around with me. Heck, the last dedicated camera that I owned was a Handycam. Or it wasn't even a Handycam, it was just one of those Vivitar, like, $15 cameras you can get
I remember
at
those.
Walmart.
Yeah,
Very durable, though.
This is a really good camera. Now the camera's been bumped up by 2 megapixels in the front. It's now a 7 megapixel front-facing camera, which is probably the most important feature on this entire phone for 90% of users with Snapchat and stuff. So that's good that they bumped it up, because it'll make your Snapchats probably look a little bit less grainy. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is for a lot of people. So we got the wider aperture, more elements, image stabilization, and we have this new True Tone flash. Now, I haven't really used this because I'm not a big fan of flash photography.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to make it not look as reflective, glowy like the normal ones use, and it's supposed to just amplify what's already there. And it seems to work all right. I haven't really used it that much. It says 50% brighter.
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy.
The technology that they're using is they're taking and they're literally putting 2 more of each LED in there. So you have 2 amber LEDs and 2 white LEDs for the True Tone flash, and those are supposed to help light a scene. You can take pictures a little further away.
Yeah.
Like, I know in my room, if I'm sitting and I want to take a picture of something across the room, my flash doesn't necessarily get that far.
Yeah, it doesn't
but
really reach.
The new flash, it should, in theory, be able to reach that far. It just depends on how Apple's engineers take and limit that technology. Because we all know if you did that whole thing where you put a black mark on your hand and you stick the camera to it and you take a photo with it, it would burn you. So if they actually allow the flash to get up to its full potential, we may be seeing some issues there. They don't want it to get too hot and burn people. So we're going to have to see about that.
So we, of course, we have 4K video that came out last year. I'm sure for a lot of people that are still on the 2-year contracts, which is a few of us, that are going to benefit from that. The file sizes are huge. One of the biggest things on this that they haven't really touched on as well is the 32 gigabyte in base storage, and that's a big deal for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about it, but that's a pretty huge deal, because that's a lot of struggles from that. Especially now, well, the iPhone never had removable media. It never had a micro SD card or anything like that.
And it still doesn't. We're Apple.
It still doesn't.
We want that. We want to be able to put
nice.
removable storage in there. I understand the security issues with it, but if you can get and do that in such a way where people can bring their own storage to iPhone, that'd be great. Even just for photos. Like, I understand you have dongles and whatnot that you can plug in. SD cards and everything.
Yeah.
Those are
It's
kind of
tough.
clunky to try and use, but it's something.
Yeah, it's something. It's a workaround for a lot of people, especially with these amazing cameras. Now, speaking of the cameras, we now got another lens. Now, this lens is a telephoto lens. The other one's a wide angle.
This is on the 7
Plus.
Plus.
Used to. Yeah, the 7 Plus is an exclusive model for the 7 Plus, which is probably like a $100 upgrade. I think that's what it is. But it's a $100 upgrade, I'm sure, whenever this Wi-Fi speeds up. It's got a telephoto lens, which is great. I think it's at 58 millimeters, 56 millimeters, but it's really good for portraits.
Yeah.
And you can get that bokeh blurred effect, so I could crop it down to about right here. And, well, it would just bring it into about right here. And you would have a, telephoto, lens. And the benefit of that is you wouldn't have a moving lens, like a traditional one.
Yeah.
And that won't actually fit in your pocket. So there's 2 fixed lenses now.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. I don't know that many people use it.
But this is something Joseph and myself have really wanted for so long.
Forever.
The ability to have some sort of optical zoom on the iPhone.
Yeah.
And this is one step closer to it. They're fixed lenses, like he said, but they're better. 2
There's
times
2
zoom.
fixed lenses, so it can fill in the gap. And
let's wrap up this video here. We'll get into the Apple Watch accessories and new features here soon, but my grandfather's pulling in, so we're going to end the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You got any closing remarks?
Well, I hope you guys like it without a headphone jack, so I guess it's the future.
Yes, that's the problem. Oh, also on top of the 2 black colors, they are bringing back rose gold, gold, and silver. They are not bringing back the space gray.
No, it's just black, which is kind of cool. And jet black, which is like a piano black.
All right.
So, well, that's that. We'll probably see a review within the next month, and we'll get on the Apple Watch soon.
All right. See you guys.
See ya. I have to go to class in at 7:20 or 4:20.
Yeah. You have to be there soon.
Bye.